What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about war? It's battles, right? But war affects everyday life of each family and each person. How did war look like at home? And what was it like to celebrate in the middle of the war? Before the war, a Christmas celebration included everything you would expect. And most importantly, a family with all its members gathered together. A war still seemed so far away. Only 1 year later, this changed. World War I had begun, and many men had left to join the war. Most of them expected to make it home by Christmas. But they didn't. Behind the battlefields, the soldiers found their own way to spend Christmas. At the West Front, they put down their weapons and kept truce for a few days. Together, the German and the British soldiers sang Christmas songs. All over Europe, people were starting to feel the consequences of war. Let's look at what women were doing during the war. Before, women had been mainly tied to the life at home. Now, as men headed abroad to fight, mothers, wives, daughters went out to work. They worked in offices and shops, on farms and fields. They became drivers, firefighters, mechanics. They made weapons in factories and shoveled coal in power stations. In Great Britain, they produced 80% of the weaponry used by the army. Still, women were paid only about half of the wages of men. There was less and less food available, as countries put priority on producing war items. In cities all over Europe, women and children queued for everyday goods. Germany, for instance, rationalized the sale of food. Still, they became more and more malnourished. In the 4th year of the war, the men had still not come back home. There were not enough soldiers on the front, so even teenage boys were sent out into the battles. Fear was omnipresent, also at home. In Britain, people were told to put blackout blinds in their windows to make sure they wouldn't become an easy target for German Zeppelins. The sound of war echoed everywhere. And then, the war was finally over. Its consequences had left an indelible mark in every person's life. 16 million people were killed, 21 million injured, and everyone had to continue living with the scars of the war.